All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. So I've got a couple interesting stories for you guys, but let's jump straight into it with the first story about Big Ramy. So the biggest news right now in the bodybuilding scene is the fact that Big Ramy is apparently not doing the 2019 Olympia and not competing in the 2019 Tampa Pro in August, just a month before the Olympia. Now, we knew that on an Instagram live video with Dennis James, Big Ramy talked about the fact that he had a shoulder injury and he needed surgery to repair it. But in that live video, he made no mention of not competing in the Tampa Pro or not competing in the Olympia. So the shoulder injury is not a new story. The new story is the fact that apparently Big Ramy is shutting it down for the rest of 2019 because of this shoulder injury, apparently. So I was actually in my office yesterday working on a video when people started tagging me in this post that Big Ramy wasn't doing the Tampa Pro. So I checked out the post. It was a guy that works for Generation Iron named Nick something. And he had put up a video basically saying he's got friends in the Middle East that know Big Ramy, and those friends said Big Ramy's not doing the Olympia. So I looked at the video, I looked at the post, and it just didn't really seem right to me. I didn't make a video about it yesterday because it just didn't really seem legit. It kind of seemed shady. There was no solid evidence. And also the fact that I had talked to some people around Big Ramy that said he's 100% doing the Tampa Pro and that there was no reason to believe he wasn't. So I didn't make a video about it yesterday. Now today, RX Muscle, which I think is much more reputable than Generation Iron, they put up a post saying that Big Ramy confirmed to them that he is in fact shutting it down for the rest of 2019. So that made me believe it. I didn't believe it when I saw it on Generation Iron because, really there was no reason to think that Big Ramy would sit out a show like the Tampa Pro or miss the Olympia. And I think it's sad to see him sitting out the Olympia because the Olympia this year already, supposedly, is going to be missing Phil Heath for the first time in the past 8-9 years. Now, of course, regardless of how you feel about Phil Heath, whether you like him or you don't like him, Phil Heath is one of the biggest topics of conversation when it goes into the Olympia weekend. He's 7-time Mr. Olympia. And the reality is one of the greatest Mr. Olympias ever. So when we're going into the Olympia, it's fun to talk about and speculate how's Phil going to look. Is Phil going to be on? Is he going to be off? Is he going to have the midsection problem? Is he going to come in at 100% and just dominate everybody? Phil Heath is fun to talk about when it comes to the Olympia. And when it comes to bodybuilding commentary channels like mine, that makes it fun and exciting. And we're not going to have Phil this year. Now, the other most exciting person I would say to talk about, speculate about, make videos about is Big Ramy. Everybody wants to know how Big Ramy's going to look at the Olympia. Is he going to be bigger than ever? Is he finally going to dial it down and come in shredded with still a crazy amount of size? Big Ramy is always like the wild card going into the Olympia that everyone wants to talk about. The videos about Big Ramy get like 500,000 views right off the bat. So in my opinion, the two biggest names outside of Shawn Rhoden doing the Olympia this year are gone. Now you got Rolly and Shawn, which a lot of people still like to see and a lot of people still want to see videos about. But I think certainly there's a level of interest that's been taken away if we're not going to see Ramy and Phil at the Olympia. And I'm actually not on the bandwagon of people that saw the Shawn Rhoden guest posing and they're saying, oh, there's no way Shawn's going to be able to retain his title and defend the Olympia. It's not going to be interesting now. I think Shawn has every ability to come in sharp, come in as good as ever, and still be able to win the Olympia. I mean, he's done it in the past. I think this guest posing wasn't really that big of a deal. It is the off season after all. It was a guest posing after all. And when it comes down to it, the thing that matters is the day of the Olympia, how he looks on that stage. I think Shawn Rhoden still has every ability to win the Olympia. I don't think that guest posing is a reason to write him off at all. In fact, I think that guest posing was really the first interesting thing we've had to talk about when it comes to the 2019 Olympia in a while, because not much is going on. Big Ramy's not doing it. Phil's probably not doing it. So Shawn Rhoden is like the next big guy that we want to talk about, and so is Rolly Winkler. And this is like the first thing that we've seen with Shawn Rhoden, so of course we had to talk about it. I mean, the Olympia is coming up really soon, and there's not a whole lot of exciting things to talk about when it comes to the Olympia, and usually at this point, there are. So I think the real interesting thing going into the 2019 Olympia that we're going to be talking about going forward is who are the new guys that are going to be moving up into that top 6, because I think right now, I wouldn't say the Olympia title is wide open because there's no Ramy or Phil, but I would say the top 6 is wide open right now for some new guys to move up because there's two major key players that aren't going to be there. Then you had Dexter Jackson, who has been in the top 6 for a very long time at the Olympia, who took 7th last year, might not be in the top 6 this year. So I think that top 6 is wide open for some new guys to move up and do some damage. However, I still think the battle for the Olympia title, minus Phil and Ramy, is going to be between Rolly and Shawn. I still think Shawn is going to be able to pull it off. I honestly do believe that. But really, the biggest question on my mind right now is, what are the Olympia promoters thinking? I think they need to do something drastic now. Maybe now they really want Kai Green to compete. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about Big Ramy not competing. So another story that kind of sucks to see is about Antoine Vaillant. So Antoine Vaillant, as most of you guys know, was getting ready to compete in the Toronto Pro here in a few weeks. I was really looking forward to this show. I was planning on going to this show. I don't know if I'm going to or not now. But Antoine was looking probably the best he's looked in a very long time in preparation for this show. And he posted a picture on Instagram today, full bicep rupture, tear, no competing soon. So Antoine Vaillant not competing anytime soon. He's not doing the Toronto Pro. And I guess that means there's really no possibility of him qualifying for the Olympia either, which kind of sucks because I would like to see Antoine be able to do the Olympia. I think he would actually do pretty well there. So next up, we have Shawn Rhoden's response to the guest posing that he did at the Pittsburgh Pro this past weekend. He posted up these series of photos on his Instagram, basically transformation photos, with the caption, "Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening." Now that I have your attention, let's get real for a minute. My name is Shawn Rhoden. Most of you call me Flexitron, and I am human just like you. Just like you, I put my pants on one leg at a time. I've been skinny, and yes, I do get fat in the off season. See pictures above. I never hide who I am, where I'm from, and what I do. So for you guys looking to get more views or likes on your page, here you go. Every year I try to add more balance to my life after the Olympia and try to give my body a break and live a little. But come September, I will always show up ready to compete with the best in this sport and hold my own. And then he says, see me in September and judge me there also. So I think this is a great post by Shawn Rhoden. And this is basically what I said in my video about Shawn's guest posing. I think that number one, Shawn taking time off to let his body rest in the off season is probably the smartest move a pro bodybuilder can make. And if that means getting fat or going to a guest posing and not looking your best, then that's what it means. And you just got to do what you got to do to let your body rest. And that's why I said in that video, I think it's actually very impressive what Shawn is doing. And I also said in that video, it makes it even more impressive that he did the same thing last year. I mean, at the guest posings that he was doing leading up to the Olympia, he didn't really look like he was in that good of shape, but then he still came in and won the Olympia. So the point there would be, if he can do that and still come in and win the Olympia, why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he give his body a break if he can give his body a break and win the Olympia? I mean, it's something that he can do and he can get away with because it works for him. Now, I do understand why so many people were negative about it and also why so many people were talking about it. I mean, the fact of the matter is, when a Mr. Olympia does a guest posing, no matter how they looked, whether they look fantastic or whether they look bad, people are going to talk about it. If the Mr. Olympia does a guest posing going into the Olympia, it's Mr. Olympia. People want to see what he looks like prior to the Olympia. People want to talk about what he looks like prior to the Olympia, whether he looked good or bad. So that's why in my video, I tried not to say anything overtly negative about Shawn Rhoden because of the fact that he had the balls to do the guest posing, knowing that he looked how he looked. He didn't have to do it. And also probably knowing full well that people were going to discuss it and people were going to post about it and people were going to talk about it because he is Mr. Olympia and he did pretty much the biggest guest posing in bodybuilding at the Pittsburgh Pro against other top Olympians. So I said it in my last video and I'll say it again. I don't think anyone should be writing off Shawn Rhoden when it comes to the 2019 Olympia. I don't think that there's any chance that Shawn Rhoden is going to look like he looked at this guest posing at the Olympia. I think it's stupid to even say that. And to all the people that I saw in the comment section saying he's fat, he doesn't look good, you think he's going to look like that at the Olympia? I mean, really? In fact, I'm going to go ahead and roll this video for you guys right here that David Bay sent me interviewing Shawn at the Pittsburgh Pro, where Shawn is saying in that interview, he looks exactly how he wants to look right now. He's doing exactly what he thinks he needs to do right now, and he thinks he's on track. So that's really all that matters. The hate, the critics, people saying he looks fat. As long as Shawn is happy with where he's at and he thinks he's right where he needs to be, that's all that matters because nobody knows Shawn's body like Shawn knows it. So I'm going to roll that clip for you guys right here.
Pittsburgh, and we just did the big guest posing. So these videos are coming out. And without a doubt, people are going to question your off-season condition.
I've learned a lot over the years competing in this sport, and one thing that I've learned that works best for me is that I have to be able to take my foot off the gas. Bodybuilding is, this sport is a marathon. And I've tried in the past to say, hey, listen, I'm going to stay in, decent shape. So once the prep started, it's a lot easier. But it never works for me. I know exactly where I'm at right now. I know exactly where I need to be. I'm not getting judged here. It's April, the first week in May. Cinco de Mayo is tomorrow. I'm going to enjoy myself. But after that, my foot is on the gas, and the only thing that I focus on is bodybuilding, and that's to be ready for 2019 Mr. Olympia. Kudos to the guys that could say, hey, listen, I'm in great shape to come here and Guestpose. I am leaving Vegas as the 2019 Mr. Olympia.
And now you have it.
So that wraps it up for the video today, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please discuss it down in the comment section below. Please give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. And please subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed already. Thank you guys for watching. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.